Steve, Saturday night, it lived up to expectations. We thought we was going to have a good show. We had a great show, mate. Absolutely cracking show from the first fight to the main bout, which didn't go our way, but it was still a fantastic fight.
You know what, Lee? We did say it was going to be a good show, and you know, you normally understand what's going to happen, don't you, in the fights, but sometimes they don't all transpire as you expect them to be. But we can honestly say that on Saturday night we had 8 fights and all 8 of them were competitive, and the away kids come to try and win, and you know, we did really well, didn't we? We had 7 out of 8 winners, and it was the big one we lost him, but what a tremendous fight that was, and we'll talk about that later on, mate. Yeah.
I think we had Jake Bray against Ben Burnham. I'm sure, was it a fella that kick-started the show?
Yeah, Ben Burnham v Jake Bray, and Jake's a real tough journeyman who has a fight, and it was a great learning fight for Ben Burnham. Just felt a bit sorry for Jake Bray with what 20 seconds of the fight to go, forced back to the corner, but wasn't hurt, and would have got through. So you know, he was booked, I believe, for the next 4 Saturdays on the trot, including he was fighting on our show next week. So we've got to look at a new opponent, and so's the other promoters, and he's left earning no money for 4 weeks. So I think he was a trialist referee, and you know, he'd been on our shows before and stopped him early. So he's certainly got to be looked at from the board. That he's stopping a kid earning a living and putting pressures on the likes of us for next week to find an opponent. And you know, you've got a good solid journeyman on your show. Now you may be looking at foreigners, which is a lot more expensive, and you don't know what you're getting. So you know, it affects Jay and it affects the promoters, and there was no need to do it. I mean, I'm one of you hurt, and they should protect you, but you know, solid journeyman like that, he'd have got through. But anyway, it wasn't a bad start. And then we had Joe Cavanagh with Daryl Tapfuma, which took a while to liven up, but once it did liven up, certainly the last 20 seconds of the 6th round was just you hit me, I hit you, and you know, it was good entertainment for the crowd. But you know, Joe come away a comfortable winner because of the early start. But you know, again, good experience for Joe. Yeah.
First 6th round as well for Joe, so a few box ticked for him. But you're right, it was a cracking fight. That Daryl Tapfuma is, again, we said it last week, much better than his record.
Yeah, it was a good test. And then Charlotte Powell, late change of opponent. She fought Bet Conley, shall we say? Sorry, and boxed really well, and
fought really well. She did a bit of everything that she needs to do. It was a really good performance by her. Yeah. And I think because she's crazy, she really enjoyed it as well.
Yeah. The
crowd enjoyed it.
It's nice to get a win. Last time was a disappointing draw. She thought she'd done well, and we thought we was having a rematch on that, but. You know, we done well getting to someone. It's not hard to match these females up, and like I'm saying, is like after 5 or 6 fights, they can be in titles, can't they? So you just got to make sure that
you say titles, you mean world titles as well? That's how crazy.
Some of them can be in world titles, yeah. But no, Charlotte did well, and it's great to see him happy and smiling afterwards, isn't it? Because like before the fight, she was a bit nervous because she had an injury from the last fight, and you know, she dedicates her life to the boxing, and it's great when you see him smiling and happy afterwards. That's one of the reasons we do this, because there's other reasons why you wouldn't. Ethan Brown, Ruston, like we said last time, it'd be a good learning fight for him, and you know, the kids we've been putting in Ruston have been much more experienced than Ethan, but he was more than capable, and he's shown it again on Saturday night. Lots of things we can improve on, and we spoke about it after the fight, but he's aware, Steve Harkin's aware, and it was a good fight.
But a real genuine good prospect though.
Very aggressive, and you know, that made Ruston have to fight back, which made for a better performance for the crowd, so that was a good one. Nathan Corliss against Ethan King. The Welsh lads are unbelievably tough, aren't they? He took some belting shots off Nathan and never flinched, so it was good for Nathan to get a hard 6 rounds out. Yeah,
it was arguably his toughest fight to date when you consider some of the people he's been in with. But I still felt the scorecards were far too close, because he had it by 1 round, and I didn't see that. I believe the other kid fought and was competitive in every round, and he might have won a round and probably shared a round, but there's no way that was a 58-57. That was 59-56 for Nathan.
Well, there was some rounds where Nathan was having the cleaner shots, wasn't he? But the other kids' work rate. It depends what you like. And I actually had it 58-56, 4-2, but sharing the next ones, no problem.
To be winning by 1 round.
The fact is, he's got the win. He's 12-0 now. He was close to a big fight before the injury. He's had 6 hard rounds now, so he's ready to move on there. And then what we thought was going to be a cracking fight was Matty Rennie and Staphos, the Greek kid. He come to win and put it on Matty, and Matty's experience kind of showed, and his slickness and everything. But he didn't win it. He won it 5 rounds to 1, didn't he? 59-55 was it?
I think it was 4 rounds. He won 5 rounds, lost 1 round, shared a round.
Did it? Right, but doesn't tell the full story. That he had to work for every second of every round to win, and I think they both did themselves really proud that day, and no one was let down. And again, the punter's seen a good fight, and that's what we need to do, isn't it?
I think it was a great learning fight for Staphos, because I think what he learned in that was he fought it like he'd fought his previous 4 rounders, and he blew himself out in that 2nd round, because he went for the knockout in that 2nd round, didn't get it, and left himself with not too much left. But it still didn't stop him, and as you said, Matthew's movement and punch variety and the way he kept switching confused Staphos, and it was a very good polished performance by Matthew.
Well, listen, Matty's managed for these TV shows now, isn't he? And that was a good fight for him to have before he moves on. So I was pleased with that one. And then the penultimate fight of the night, Brian Collins against Berman Sanchez, who got a draw of him and put him down previously. Ended up a bit of a schooling, really, didn't it? Brian boxed really well and just boxed his head off, really, didn't
I think he just proved it was a bad night in the office last time out, because at no point, considering he put him over, there was never any danger in there for him. He just controlled the fight from start to finish and was very dominant.
Yeah, and that's got a 6 rounds right for him as well now, so Brian's going to keep moving forward. And then the main fight of the night, Jake Barton and Liam Williams, a bit of a derby, and we expected it to we say, turn into a punch-up, but he started from the first round, didn't it?
It was very much similar to the Mickey Ellison fight with Jake Barton. He just goes into war mode, that Spartan that he comes out to, he just loves it.
His puts it up there, but it was a good fight, wasn't it? I mean, the first and the second round were really close, and obviously the second round, the referees give Leon Williams a count where he's hit him with an uppercut. And
he gave Jake a count when he caught him with an uppercut. Yeah. And then right at the end of the round, even though it wasn't counted, Jake caught Leon, and
he shot the counter right up, wasn't it? And he definitely touched down, and maybe the debate was it just slightly after the bell or something like that, but I don't think it was. I was watching it quite closely, and as I say, when Jake went down, he kind of sunk from a uppercut, and I wasn't too sure, but it seems that his knee must have hit the canvas, and they gave him a count, which was fair enough, because he was probably hurt, and those 10 seconds would have helped him, so that's fair enough. But he should have give a count for Liam Williams when he went down as well, and that would have probably evened the round up.
I think that annoyed Obviously he was shouting in the ring at the referee and going like, you know, that was a knockdown, that was a knockdown. So when he came out for the third round, which was ended up being the last round, he was angry, and I think that was probably the downfall, because he threw the punch that actually finished. It was a big overhand right from Jake Barton. He threw a big overhand right, but it wasn't as controlled as it should have been, and it was a bit wild and reckless. And Liam slipped inside it, and then caught him with a check left hook. And it was a
do you know what?
shot.
He'd been hitting him with that punch a few times, wasn't it? And he took the others, and he just didn't take this one, because he say the force that he had with his right hand had kind of doubled up with the fact that he got caught with the left. And do you know, I was a bit worried for him at the time, you know, because it was a bad knockdown, wasn't it? But
I spoke to Robbie, and he said he's fine now.
Yeah, he recovered. I spoke to him myself after the fight, and then yesterday, and he's recovered. He's a bit gutted, but maybe we could do that one again, because them two could fight 10 times, couldn't they? And it might be 5 for Leon, 5 for Jake, but there'd be 10 good fights, wouldn't there? So maybe down the line we can revisit that one. But
Jake's not in many bad fights though, actually, so he likes to have a little bit of a war, and even though it was only 3 rounds, that was a war.
Yeah, and you know what, we're already getting a lot of viewers watching it, aren't we, on the
on the YouTube
channel. It'll get more, because say it was a great fight, 2 knockdowns and a knockout. Unfortunately, our lad wasn't the winner, but that's boxing, isn't it? You can't win them all, and congratulations for Liam Williams. You know, he didn't really have to take that fight, and he did do. Yeah.
And you know, he was very honest as well, because Dan Kelly did the interviews afterwards while I was filming, and he asked him, was it a knockdown? Because from where we was positioned, where the commentator was positioned, his back was towards us, so it was hard to see. And he confirmed it. He said, yeah, he did put me down.
Yeah, but listen, great show. Move on to the next one at Bolton next week, and we'll catch up this next few days, Lee, and we'll go through it. Yeah.
Nice one, mate. Really did enjoy last night though.
Okay.
Saturday night.
Thank you, pal.
See you later. Bye.
For all boxing info, news, and latest interviews, amateur and pro across the north, click and subscribe. VIP Boxing Promotions. Also Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook.